What's up, guys? Long time no see. I'm going to talk about something I don't normally talk about. It's a show I actually don't even really watch, but something I decided to watch just to see how well they would handle it, just what they would do. And what I'm talking about is the season 7 premiere of The Walking Dead, where the bad guy Negan finally shows up and does his thing. Now, I'm not going to spoil it for anybody out there who has not seen it, but suffice to say, it's pretty damn brutal. I mean, it's really damn brutal. But what I want to talk about when it comes to that is the public reception and reaction to it. Because after watching the episode and waiting a few days, I went back on YouTube and I decided to see all of the reaction videos from all the YouTubers. And I gotta say, I mean, I watched the very first episode of The Walking Dead years ago. And I'm not big on zombies, so it didn't really hold my interest. Like, I'll play zombie video games all day long. I'll play Resident Evil, games like that. I'll play because there's an element in there that I like. But then there was just something about the show. It was like watching a George A. Romero zombie movie on repeat constantly. And that's what I felt like it was going to become. And I don't feel like I'm too far off. But with this new character, Negan, introduced in the show, he's already been in the comics for a little while now. I watched this episode and I feel like maybe now there's a huge shift in the dynamic. People have always told me, well, it's not the zombies you have to worry about in the show, it's the other people. I'm like, I understand that. In a post-apocalyptic world, the real threat are what other people would do in that sort of crisis. Negan, to me, is a representation of extreme authority that has actually taken control. That's what Negan seems like to me. But what I want to talk about is I read on Facebook that there is like a parent-teacher council somewhere or somebody that are trying to get, the show to basically cool it with the gruesome shit because of what Negan did. And it's like, well, you're 7 seasons in now and Negan is the worst? I highly doubt that, because I could have sworn I've seen clips of bloated zombies who have poisoned watering holes in the series. But that's just me. What I'm curious about, and once again, I'm not going to spoil it for you, what really struck to me was that the way people were reacting, and it kind of struck me as good filmmaking. I kind of get the feeling that every other villain has been treated like a regular TV series villain, where, he presents a problem, but then the heroes can come up with a quick solution. It takes a season, but it's a solution nonetheless. I think Negan is the first time ever that the main characters have been turned into the audience, and the audience has been turned into the characters. And what I mean by that is that Negan had all of them helpless, unable to do anything, sitting there silent, crying, blinking. He even said, just like, you can cry, you can blink, you can, cry, and hell, you'll be doing a lot of that before you hit the first person. And it's a marvel to me that in this one scene, the filmmaker and Negan and all the actors have turned you into one of those, a helpless victim. He turned every one of the main characters into a helpless victim. And he shoved it down our throats by turning everyone in the audience into helpless victims. Because there was nothing you can do to save the person you cared about. You're standing across, looking at him, just waiting to see what he would do. And helpless at his very mercy. Hoping to God it wouldn't be, someone you cared about. And if it was someone you cared about, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do about that. But I like how they built up the first kill. Once again, I'm not going to spoil who it was. They built up the first kill really well, and it made you really feel like, oh God, this is important, this is monumental. He's only going to kill him, and that's going to be the show of force. And then the second one comes out of fucking nowhere almost. And it's brutal. There's no other way around it. It's just absolutely brutal. But to say that it's the worst thing that Walking Dead has ever done, I don't think so. I really don't think so. I mean, I would hate to have to go through the series myself because I'm not that interested. But they built this shit up for 6 months. There was no way. I couldn't avoid its grasp. I really couldn't. I wanted to so hard though. But in closing, it was a really good episode. It was shot really well. It built up the tension properly, and that's something that hardly happens in a whole lot of TV shows. But would I watch the series on the regular? No, because I'm not interested. But Jeffrey Dean Morgan is Negan, just like Lady Gaga was the Countess in American Horror Story. So I don't know. I might turn the page. But thank you all so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.